All right, Coach, we'll open things up here with just an opening statement from you before we get to questions. So just your thoughts on, you've had a couple of days to actually see your team and see a little bit what you got. So just your overall thoughts on what you've got so far in the season ahead.
Yeah, we've been able to get 8 practices in so far. We started classes yesterday earlier than pretty much everybody else, and we were able to get the guys back a little bit earlier than most. But we have a long way to go, in a while before we have to, put the game gear on and get out there in front of everybody. And we need it right now. I mean, looking back, we without any practices last fall and a handful in the spring, with a bunch of young guys, pretty much like everybody else in the country. Basically have 2 freshman classes coming back. It's been interesting, but we're excited to be back on the field. I've said it before. If we got anything out of this, I think that we appreciate the game and opportunity to go out there every day and do what we like to do and what we're able to do, and take advantage of it probably more than we ever have, just because of what we've been through. But when you look back and you think of a team who hasn't played a game since November of 2019, as coaches, we don't know what to expect. And as players, I think the few that have been here through a season, I'm not sure if they really knew what to expect either. And we're trying to figure each other out a little bit. We're trying to get them acclimated to our expectations here in college football in general. And so far they're picking it up, but it's just a little bit more of a process. And lots of things have changed since then too. You not only the players are new, but we have pretty much a whole new staff. So that's been another issue that we knew going into camp that was going to be something we had to address. New schemes, new things we were trying to do in certain situations on just about every aspect of the game. And the players in position groups getting used to their position coaches. That's always interesting too. But for us, I've always been a team guy. We don't really talk about individuals too much. This year is pretty easy to do when you have about 8 or 9 guys who've actually played in a college football game. But our expectation, our standard's still the same. We call it the Fairmont standard. We expect to get better every day and work yourself into position to win in pretty much everything you do. We're looking forward to the challenges of having young guys. We're looking forward to developing them and getting them better on the field and hoping we can make them be better young men off the field as well. But that's something that comes with this business and something that a challenge that we're looking forward to. Doesn't help too much when you start out the season with a regional, power in Cal PA, and then 3 of the top 5, preseason ranked teams in your conference. It'll be something we got to deal with early and be prepared for. And like I said, it's a challenge that we're looking forward to.
All right, questions, Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and just call it right now. You just go ahead and lead it off.
All right, I'll take it. Coach, you talked about not playing since 2019. Yeah, I know coaches don't like preseason polls or don't put a lot of stock into them, but when you all haven't played since 2019 and you're picked 6th in the conference, what do you think that says about you and your team? I mean, I'm not sure what that's even based off of. So what do you think that says about you guys?
Well, I think it's I think a lot of it's unknown, just like the rest of the conference. We haven't played. No one saw us practice. We really don't know we don't know what we have, let alone other coaches knowing what we have. I think a lot of it just is based off of that. I mean, if you look back in a lot of the preseason polls, a lot of times it reflects how the season ended the year before. And, at our level, we're not getting tons of publicity off season wise. And anything as coaches we can go off of is, how the season ended last year and kind of guess on what's coming back. And, for us, I think everybody kind of has the same expectation. I mean, if I could vote on us, I would probably put us in the same place because I know we have a lot to prove. And I know that the teams in the conference are very talented. I know there's a lot of good football players, a lot of good football coaches in this conference, and we are unproven. So I'm not shocked by it. I think that obviously we think we're pretty good. I mean, we have a lot of confidence in our players, but we do know we're unproven and we have to go out and earn a lot of stuff.
Through the first, I think you said eight practices so far, anyone in the quarterback room really separated themselves and kind of shown their ability to be that starter for you guys yet, or is that still a little too early?
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit too early. We have one guy who's actually been, I take that back. We have 3 guys who were here in the spring. So we have a few guys that have a little bit more experience than the other, but that's still not very much. You know, you think about that position in general, very, very important game experience wise, the speed of the game, all the things that go along with that position. You know, you can put them in the fire as much as you can in practice, but until you get them in the game, it's just not the same. And, you know, I always say I'm going to play the best players and give each of them an opportunity to prove themselves in practice. And 7, 8 practices, you can't really tell that just yet. You know, we're just doing install. We're not really being able to get into any situational practices and put them in situations where they have to really make tough decisions. So again, it's just wide open right now. We're just trying to figure out the guy who can step up and do it. Like you said, kind of take a little bit of a lead and get in front of the others.
And then I guess, I mean, you mentioned in previous conversations as well, only 8 or 9 guys on this team right now that actually have MEC experience. How much, I guess, really, since we last talked, how much have you seen those guys continue to be leaders and tell the younger guys who don't have the game experience, this is what to expect when the lights come on a Thursday or a Saturday, and this is what you're going to be kind of asked to do as the season goes on? How much have you seen that?
Yeah, the older guys that we do have done a really good job with that, and I think they understand the challenge ahead too. I think they know that they have to, as teammates, get some of the younger guys ready to play because they know they're going to have to count on them as teammates as well. But they've done a really good job of being vocal and not necessarily the over-the-top loud kind of, you know, the guys you hear on the field. It's more of the mentoring side of it that we're trying to get, in place, and I think that it probably goes further than any other way of leading. And our guys have done a pretty good job of that so far. But again, we got a long way to go. I mean, they can tell these guys what we're up against, but until they're in there and they're actually seeing it, then it's going to be a whole different thing. And, I think our upperclassmen will be ready to play, though.
I think I'm good.
Coach, you talked about the challenges, particularly on the front half of that schedule. How difficult, or what's your message going to be about measuring improvement and seeing improvement from week to week to week based on that difficult slate?
Well, I think it's the same every year, Adam. I think that, no matter who you're playing and what week it is, you're looking for improvement. And, early on, we know we got some tough challenges, but in this conference, you got to play every week. I mean, you could get beat every week, no matter who you're playing. And, the preseason poll is what it is. It's not the way it ends isn't usually how it comes out in the preseason. So we're just going to go out and expect everybody's best every week. We think we get that at Fairmont anyways. We know no matter who we're playing, we feel like they bring their best against us. And that's kind of, we take pride in that too. It's why we're Fairmont. But I don't know if it's going to matter what week we play who, but I know that first, few games we play in this conference, we're going to be against some of the better defenses we expect to see. And same on the offensive side too. We know there's players on the teams that we start out with that we're going to have to be prepared for, concerned with, and it's going to be a challenge each week.
You have a unique perspective on Bobby Bowden, just taking it a little bit of a different direction, but just kind of give us your thoughts, maybe a good memory or two of being with Coach.
I was fortunate enough to be around him for about 8 months, and I learned a lot with him. I learned a lot about being a better man and being a coach, and just going through that for 8 months, and again, staying in touch with him for the last 10 years. It seems like it goes by fast, but just if you can ever, as a coach, if you can ever be the man he is, the man he was, whether it's spiritually or with your family or even just a mentor to the young man, that's something that I think as coaches we should all at least strive for. It's just really, really hard to do it every day. And I kind of caught him towards the back half of his career, and I saw the grandfather side of him more than anything. And I asked him one time if there was anything he could ever do different, and I'll never forget. He said, "Yeah, I have a lot of regrets," and it kind of caught me off guard because I didn't really expect him to say all that. And he said, "There's a lot of things I wish I could do different, and there's a lot of times I wish people could forgive me, but the man upstairs forgive me. So I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep living every day." And that stuck with me pretty heavy. And he was just such a great guy in general, and just a great mentor to anybody that was around him.
All right, thanks for that. Anything else for Coach? All right, I think that'll do it, Coach.